Alright, just had to go and unmute everything for when we switched over. There's a possibility that the first words heard on stream were rubber chicken, though.
I hope everybody heard rubber chicken. Because that's what we all heard.
That being said, it's Wednesday night. You know what that means. I'm just saying that guy over there. I almost did it wrong.
Range of motion.
And we are talking Tokes here generally to talk to you about AEW shows like AEW Dynamite tonight.
Mm-hmm.
However,
we talk about all the wrestling stuff, especially with what's been going on recently.
You can't ignore WrestleMania just happened, and WWE just got sold.
And Vince McMahon's mustache.
And fair job. He just somehow became more of a villain.
He's playing into it, man. He's the ultimate heel.
So over the weekend, as WrestleMania was happening, it was highly rumored that it was happening, and it even started coming out from like credible places like New York Times and Forbes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We've been around for a while now, and we watched wrestling as a kid, and one company was still there. There was another one. Did you ever expect this day to happen?
Not at any point, but I also had never expected Vince to not be in charge of everything at WWF, because that's just how it's always been, like my entire life. So things are just changing all across the board. But yeah, I don't think I ever would have actually expected it to be sold.
And when we were younger, both of his kids were very prominently involved, so you figured, like, there is how it's gonna go.
Right.
Speaking of both of his kids, one of them had a hell of a WrestleMania moment.
Poor Shane. The man comes in for a highlight match. And it was a torn quad. He did the Triple H. I think
it was the Vince after the Royal Rumble.
Oh,
when he came down to the ring and tore both his quads. Or no, Triple H did tear one in match. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's like a family curse. You just tear your quads. God damn.
It is one of the bigger moments. For funny reasons, what in wrestling history probably is when they had that accidental I think it was Batista and Cena eliminated each other at the same time in the Royal Rumble. Vince came down pissed off, tore both his quads, and sat there in the ring giving everyone directions.
Oh yeah. I never saw that, but I heard about that one. Yeah, that's pretty great.
Family curse.
It's a family curse. You come down to the ring for some kind of highlight and tear them quads.
All right. That being said, just to kind of do a quick rundown for WWE, we already mentioned what's happened with them by UFC, parent company, merging the two together into one giant thing. I have no idea what to expect from that. Hopefully, maybe it's beneficial.
Conor McGregor.
But it's all like the parent company is like a talent agency, so it should make it very easier to have stars come into WWE and also WWE stars go elsewhere. So, just to kind of make it quick, your top 3 moments from WrestleMania weekend.
Oh, that's an on the spot.
We kind of talked about it earlier, so I kind of figured your 3 would be easier.
I have, let's see, moments. I don't know.
Could be a match or moment. I just want to kind of include both ways.
Okay. So, as far as a match goes, Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental title. that shit was a banger. It also didn't help that they had the crowd like hot behind Sheamus for that whole thing.
This also would do
But
the math, counting every single strike, so all the chops, who took them, who dished out the most.
dude, there was everybody's titties were purple after that one. Like there wasn't a like they all walked up there with white tits and left with purple ones.
Like, it's hard to argue that has to be number one for me as well, because it best match of the weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Best match of the weekend. I liked seeing Rhea get her WrestleMania moment. The match, I do think that the match was, I think the match was good, story wise, definitely. I mean, I watch a whole lot of AEW, so it's not as clean as as you expect from the other side, but you got to remember it's WWE, and they did what they needed to do there, which was they told one hell of a story, and it was good. Go Rhea. Now let's see her versus Bianca. Bianca retained. That's what's up. But no, my let's see here. Number 3. John Cena lost.
For number 2, I gotta go with that same match because it was a great story. There's a couple German suplexes that scared the crap out of me, and some things that weren't the cleanest, that just kind of the impact looked kind of scary, but the story that they told was really good. And I'm gonna stick with number 3. Actually, I'm gonna stick with something, but I'm gonna go a little bit different with it. We talked about Shane getting injured. Snoop Dogg improvising on the spot and then delivering a people's elbow to the Miz for the win.
I was gonna say, what's Snoop Dogg's record in WWE? Is he undefeated?
I'm not sure if he's had a match with them before. I know he's, and I don't know if he had a match in AEW, but I know he did something after the whistle or the bell.
At the very least, Snoop Dogg is Goldberg. Like, the streak is alive.
That being said, Raw after Mania, it seems like everyone has been like universally upset with it. That lacks so much of what you used to expect from it. And the reason,
they like usually set stuff up on fire, or they usually end every story with a bang, or they're like, here's the new story, get ready. They didn't really do that, apparently.
Returns, surprises, call-ups, everything. Reason I want to bring that up is because there was a name that was heavily rumored to possibly be showing up between that weekend and Monday. That was Jay White.
Yeah. Everyone, like every little bit of wrestling media, all the messaging boards that you can look at, everyone was, oh yeah, Jay White's going to WWE. Jay White's going to WWE. He's going to be the big reveal at WrestleMania. We got through all of WrestleMania weekend. I watched the whole thing.
That's a lot of hours.
Hence, I mean, other than a nap, because I definitely took a nap at some point there. But yeah, I watched that whole thing, and there was no Jay White on WrestleMania. I watched Dynamite.
He was there right away.
There was a Jay White on Dynamite, though. Hey.
It kicks off the show with one of the fan favorites, of Ricky Stark, coming out to the ring for his match with Rock Hard Juice Robinson.
Rock hard. You gotta get a little ah in there, you know, when you say it. It can't just be rock hard. But you also have to put the match part in quotations.
Well, I said it was supposed to be a match.
Oh, supposed to be a match.
Or he was coming
Because
down 4-1, but yeah. Who was the second person we saw on our screen tonight, Range?
the second person we saw tonight, we got to see. Wait,
Because the music hit and Jay White came out on stage and Juice
no,
attacked from
well,
behind.
because you saw Ricky and Juice first.
Are you talking about the promo video?
The show when in the beginning we definitely saw Ricky and Juice.
Juice never had an
Before
entrance.
But didn't Juice come out before
But
Jay?
I thought Jay was already on the stage. Okay, so timing might be off on that slightly. Whatever.
I think Juice was already out there. And so I was like, I think the third person we saw today was Jay White.
Yeah, I just remember like the shot from far away and him coming out onto the stage, and then they cut in closer and Juice was attacking. That's just how I remembered. That's why I thought it was that way. Could be wrong, but yeah. Either way, they kicked off the show with Jay White, the guy who everybody expected to show up a few days ago.
Yep. On WrestleMania. But they didn't say Jay White is all elite, but that pretty much all but says Jay White is all elite.
Nope, the tweet is out there.
The tweet is out. Okay.
The tweet and graphic is out there.
The Twitters are happening. Okay. Jay White is all elite.
I already retweeted it.
Oh man.
But yeah.
I don't Twitter you guys.
They just basically attacked and beat up Ricky, and that match never happened.
Yeah. So Jay White's first thing in here is going to be Ricky Starks. Okay. I'm with it. I'm with it.
Kind of what you expect. Like somebody on that decent level of stardom who you kind of believe can win any match he's in. So it's going to be kind of there. No, it would be real surprising is if he spoils Jay White's first match. Like beats him. Although that would be bad for Jay. So bad.
I think you would have to give him his first match. Which is why I'm now thinking maybe you don't. But then again, I guess Ricky can eat the loss right now because he's beat every heel.
Or, you want to know what happens?
But MJF.
Action Andretti shows up to help out again before a match ever happens. You built the story of a little bit of a friendship there.
Yeah, you did. You did. I just don't think Action Andretti is on that level.
And that's why he can lose.
Yeah, I guess, you can bring out Action. Yeah, let Action Andretti eat Jay White's first win.
And then they can do like a tag team thing. You know, I'm just thinking wrestling trope wise, where again, Action Andretti eats the pin. Until Ricky can eventually have the big 1-on-1 match.
That would be hot. That would be so hot.
I'm just excited for Juice.
That would be so hot. Yeah. You rock hard for Juice.
So rock. Because like obviously Jay White coming in is a big deal, so you're excited about that. But what this means is, as opposed to just kind of lingering about and not doing a whole lot much of meaning, Juice has a purpose now, and he's gonna get used.
He's gonna get used up. But yeah. So I know we were both just hyped that Jay White is all elite instead of all WWE. But so what do you actually think they're gonna like? What direction do you think they're gonna go with this? So they're gonna be like, all right, so well, I guess Juice and Ricky still have to have that match, and then eventually Ricky hits Jay White too.
I mean that. I wonder if Ricky will ever beat Jay. He might just beat Juice and look really good along the way, but Jay, you're gonna treat him like he's a step ahead of where Ricky is right now, for sure. But
I think you should.
my thoughts moving forward beyond this, before last week, Adam Cole's last match was with Jay White and Hangman and Okada, right?
Mm-hmm.
That four-way. That whole build-up, remember Adam and Jay White were running together. Cole still doesn't like Paige. They have that history. That could be something that you could eventually throw Adam Cole into down the line. Adam Cole is not a true babyface. It's not going to last forever. It's not.
It is kind of weird because I've only seen him as a heel. So he'll turn eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick babyface run since he's back and people are happy to see him.
So happy. Outside of that, with Jay White being all elite, the other biggest news of the night, Tony Khan's major announcement. I honestly thought I wasn't going to be super excited about it because one, the last one was very disappointing, and two, it doesn't really affect us, or so we thought.
Yeah. It definitely does. Because one show that we've been saying that we're pretty much going to be trying to make every year is All Out
In Chicago.
Because it's a quick trip for us. So it's easy to do. We can do it on short notice and stuff. But Tony Khan announced All In at Wembley Stadium in London. Which, holy smokes, that place is massive. How in the... It's going to be empty.
I saw that they said 90,000 for soccer.
Yeah, that place is going to be empty. Because I know it's huge.
So, I mean, you could conceivably, if you want to have a huge set, you could eliminate off, like, a good portion of the arena for production.
Mm-hmm.
That might take that 60 down, like, nearly a third to, like, maybe 70. But yeah, that's still...
Yeah.
Three times their biggest show so far? More than 3 times?
Yeah.
Because I think their bigger ones are usually right around the 20,000.
It must not have been too expensive to book.
Well,
that's my only thinking.
Tony Khan's dad.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Kind of owns a lot of sports teams and stuff like that. So
that's true. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So this is happening August 27th. The weekend before All Out. I don't know how you necessarily run 2 of those unless you treat it like a night 1, night 2 event.
Yeah. And when we were talking about it during the show, I said, I am almost 100% certain that there's no way they're going to be doing a major show in one country and then another major show in the next country a week later. That's almost a hell no.
See, that part wouldn't surprise me, though. That's the crazy thing. Like, you can make that work in terms of traveling and all that. And I don't think it would be that crazy hard to do. It would just be a busy, committed week.
And that's why I think you don't want to do that, especially with how many... Like, I know COVID is kind of not being taken as seriously as it was previously, but there's still people having travel issues now. So I'm like, I don't think that there's any kind of way that you would want to try and do one show that week and then another show a week later, massive like that.
So with that being said, we have one solution for you, Tony. if you take away All Out from us in Chicago, if you do that, we have a proposition for you. Full Gear pay-per-view, Detroit.
Yeah. Full Gear, Detroit. Let's do it. It's happening. Oh, and then also, I got some thoughts about Dynamite. It's going to be in Detroit on May 10th. So,
Make it good.
yeah, I'm thinking that you should have everyone on the card. Literally everyone. All right.
Just watch Serpentico get destroyed again.
Hell yeah. That's fine. He's part of everyone.
I feel so bad that one of our longest memories from that show is going to be the thud of his back hitting the ground.
Yeah, the sound of Serpentico's back splatting against the ground.
Sorry, guy. Sorry. You should be like the first ballot Hall of Famer when AEW has one. Like, you don't know what this guy gave to this company.
Hey, he's a Hall of Famer in my book. Hall of Famer in my book, man. Hall of Famer.
We just talked about the opening of AEW Dynamite tonight, but the main event.
The money.
Main event. I feel like I have to address this, or at least, I mean, we have to address this. Guns come out second as champions. Spotlight down, nice entrance. They're doing the whole Shawn Michaels gear, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there is something different, and what was it?
That was, yeah, it was pretty dope. Spotlight comes down, they standing ass to ass, you know, because they ass boys. And then Mini Men starts playing. That was, I don't know, that was hype.
Like,
I was like, man, I feel bad for the Guns because it was just too early for them to have a title reign, I feel like.
The nice thing is, though, is I kind of feel like the title reign kind of put the spotlight on them to make transition, because the end of their title reign, they are going to be so much better than what they were 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. But that entrance, though, that was the highlight of the match for me.
Didn't
Other than the outcome.
I didn't hate it. I'm not giving it a hard time. It just, or anything like that. It's just all of a sudden I'm sitting there watching the entrance and it's different, and hearing the song, and I'm like, what? It was a surprise out of left field. I never knew I wanted, and now I need it.
Let's say the 8th grader in me just got so excited.
Oh, jeez. The match, though,
Made me want to watch I'm gonna go get that Get Rich or Die Trying and listen to that bad bitch.
I might actually, once the show's over, go right into Spotify to play again.
Yeah.
The match, though, you could tell
There was many
FTR.
men in the match.
You could tell FTR was very involved in the storytelling of this match, because very, very fun match.
I liked it. I loved that. I loved the story of that the Guns weren't really trying to win. They just wanted to make sure it ended. They were like, let's just make sure it ends without FTR winning. Like, we don't care how it ends. We just want to make it end.
And we talked about it before, like, the match was happening. I was saying, like, all right, the one way out of this where neither result happens is like a purposeful DQ or a count out. Like, that'd be a terrible way to end the show, and they played with that story so hard.
Oh yeah, that was really cool. I liked like that when Colton pulls the ref out of the ring and he's just like, "Hey, call it."
Because it was
And the ref's
over.
like, nah.
They just hit Austin with the Shatter Machine, and yep, he wanted that DQ.
Yeah, he's like, DQ me, do it. I dare you.
Or the obvious little
No,
blow right in front
Austin
of
was
the
more
ref.
like, I was gonna say Austin was more like the I dare you, because he looked and he's like,
Hmm.
I mean, he didn't do the gesture, but eye to eye, he's like,
Like he
do it,
mounted or
bro.
something. Yeah,
Do
All
it.
Elite Wrestling. What it was a great show and welcome and hi, because I see it again and it excites me so much, just like this show tonight did. And yeah,
Yeah,
Austin.
Brooklyn.
The one thing that threw me off about the Austin one was the ref wasn't gonna do it at first, and then he like begged
Mhm.
him to, and then the ref's like, "All right, I guess I got to at this point." And then Cash just like hugged the ref's arm, like, "No."
Yeah, I loved that. Cash begging the ref, don't DQ them. That's just such an odd thing to see. Don't DQ my opponent.
It's about the only time I've ever seen anything like that is at the end of tag team matches where like the tag team partner will lay down on the ref and grab their arm to stop his hand from hitting three. I've never really
Mhm.
seen it like this before, or I mean, we might have. We've watched wrestling for a long time, but it's different and it's not something you expect.
Yeah, it was very different. Um,
During this whole
I'm just ready
distraction,
for the FTR reign, dude.
it was because even after this, they still tried to cheat him more. And during this whole distraction, Colton's fly is Austin one title. The ref catches it, like no, 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 and gets him the other belt. Dax jumps off of him onto the belt, but he kicks out.
That was grand.
I also never expect a double roll up to end the match.
That's the superpower, because you know how strong the roll up is. Like two roll ups.
I also never understood it. I mean, I understand it when it's a submission because you're keeping the partner away from breaking up like the pinfall or the other submission. But I'm like, you can't actually pin him. You're not legal.
No, you're just keeping them away by having them fruit rolled up.
That's
So
terrible.
they had them bro fruit rolled up, two fruit roll ups for
Name
the
of the
win.
video: two fruit roll-ups.
Two fruit roll ups. FTR. Fruit. Dang it. I'm trying to. Damn it.
Uh,
What's the T?
fruit that rolls.
Fruit that rolls up. All right. I don't know. Yeah.
And
Got the
after
roped up.
after the match, the ring announcer even announced it and new champions and still in AEW.
And still in AEW, most importantly.
So I'm trying to think. They're the tag champs. I have no idea where they could go next. House of Black,
They,
Trios champions probably should remain that way for a while.
mhm. Yeah, I wouldn't even thought that way. Um, are they building up any heel tag teams right now?
Uh, I hate to say this. I hate to say this,
No.
but probably the next built up one is probably Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
Yeah, they are. They are.
I hate that I had to say that. Or
uh, it could go that way.
I don't see how you could run the JASA make sense unless I guess you could do Jericho and Garcia while Sammy's in the other thing.
Jericho and Garcia would be fun.
Um.
Jericho's got something going on too.
Oh, now that there's four of them, I don't know how they're gonna run this because they were a part of the trios. Some form of BCC.
Yeah, yeah, you can. I feel like the BCC they're gonna eventually have like a we run this ship, like everybody's got belts kind of situation at some point. And yeah, Mox and Danielson are the odd man out. Mox and Danielson for the tag titles.
What kind of sucks about that is we don't see MJF losing for a while though. So is it going to be is Danielson or Mox going to slide all the way down to the International?
Mm,
And then the TNT?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking that they have to take all the belts. I'm just thinking that everyone will have belts.
So maybe in like 6 months, 3 of them are trios and 1 of them is TNT. Or 2 of them are tag team champion, but a different set of 3 are the trios champion.
You already have 2 of them well, 2 of them, well, 1 of them has
you're
an
including
ROH
ring.
belt.
Okay.
So, you've already got Claudio as the ROH champion.
Got you.
Some kind of combination of those others. Grab one of those, grab the tag belts, and then I don't know, maybe the international championship for one of them. Maybe Yuta can come back for that. Since he had that, he's got history with Orange Cassidy. That would be okay for him to go back.
Well, at this point, we might as well talk about the squash match that was Blackpool Combat Club against people that we don't know.
Yeah. Blackpool Combat Club versus Jabbas.
Literally what it says in my notes. And on the stream, it says Blackpool Combat Club defeats Jobbers. Sorry to you guys. I know at one point they tried to name who you were in the match, but
yeah, they got beat down real fast, and it was hard. We weren't intended to know who that was.
The biggest dude on the Jobbers team took a spike pile driver on the outside of the ring, while Yuta just like held a submission on some guy in the ring and just schooled him forever.
BCC being so much BCC actually being brutal.
Oh yeah, because
love it.
After Wheeler gets a win with the crossface, they continue their attack, but Danielson gets on the mic and I don't know, he says, "I was at home with my family I love, but I also love these guys and wrestling." Blah blah blah. He talked for a while.
He does. He loves those guys. He loves wrestling.
He basically had like key 3 points through this whole thing. He loves wrestling, all the members of the BCC, that everybody else is amateurs.
Mm-hmm. He even loves Wheeler Yuta, even though he's a little shit.
He loves him a little shit.
Yeah, and I absolutely love that he's just referring to him as a little shit, because he is playing that little shit character so perfectly.
We didn't have a really good camera angle for it, but I feel like when we saw it, you could see enough to tell that Wheeler Yuta smiled over it.
Oh, yeah. Because he knows he's doing a good job. He's like, yeah, I'm a little shit.
So eventually Hangman comes down to interrupt and goes right after the other 3, and they eventually are just taking turns destroying Hangman, and just as they rotate in, I'm beating him up. Danielson's like, I love Jon Moxley while he's beating him up. Then Wheeler Yuta's beating him up. I love Wheeler Yuta. And he says, nobody loves Hangman. Nobody was there to help.
But Bryan Danielson knows what love is. I was really hoping that he was going to sing. Like, this felt like the kind of moment where he could sing.
We had enough singing on this show.
He should have. I mean, it would have been terrible for their whole thing, but
oh yeah, that too.
I would have absolutely loved it. If he's like, you know what? I know what love is. You want to know what love is?
Instead, he starts talking about the pillars and how it's all built by amateurs, and basically, he said he showed talk about fixing up the house. And he's in there twirling a screwdriver in his hand. I could not tell because he ended up taking it to Hangman's, at least his head. Did it look like it might have been aimed like where it was supposed to be an eye thing at all to you?
I couldn't quite tell if it was supposed to be directed at an eye, but it was definitely the face.
We'll see
So
more
that's what I got
next
for
week.
you. The face.
Because at one point, Hangman's on the ground and he's just strictly covering up his eyes at that point.
Amateurs. 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 Amateurs.
Then they talk about how they're the best professional wrestlers there that night in that company. And in a shot at the other company, what did Danielson say?
Yeah. It's like we're the only wrestlers in AEW, and after what I saw this weekend, we might be the only wrestlers in America. Like, oh, shots fired.
And it's from a
Always firing
guy,
subtle shots.
and it's a guy who's their champion at some point. So it's not even like they would have loved to have keep him. So it's not like it's coming from some guy who's never been there or never succeeded there. It was from a guy who's created one of the biggest memories in WrestleMania in the last decade.
He did.
It's funny, it was almost a decade ago. Yeah, consider how long he was gone with injury, and
So long ago.
because that was WrestleMania 30, and that was just 39.
Good God.
Actually, that is 10 years.
Time flies, man. Yeah, time flies.
Right.
I remember when I wasn't old. Now look at me.
So
Old.
So tonight we had another championship on the line with Jamie Hayter, one of my personal favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Taking on first champion, Riho. It's an interesting
original.
match. They started off with a handshake, and they did end with a handshake. They were respectful.
Well, they're both faces, so you gotta be respectful.
Now,
When you're both faces.
I felt like the first half of this match, the story was Jamie was dominating her physically and just wanted her to stay down so she didn't have to inflict more pain.
Jamie likes to showboat, man. That's never how I feel when Jamie wrestles.
Because she would like lay her ass out, but then she'd be like, come on. Like she just but was saying like it wasn't sweat. She just wanted it to be over.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess just because I think it's just because Jamie showboats so much that I would never get that kind of vibe of she doesn't want to have to do this anymore. Of it's more like her tormenting her is what my thinking would be.
She wasn't looking like she was having fun where I would think like tormenting. It was like looked legitimately to me like whenever Riho would kick out and would surprise Jamie, she would just be like, alright, gotta do more damage. Just stay down. And then, they shook hands after, so she has like that respect. She didn't wanna destroy her.
Yeah. Yeah, she didn't want to have to do what she had to do. But I mean, Riho did what she had to do.
You got so excited when she did a 619.
Yeah, that 619 was sweet. It's like, hell yeah, Rey Mysterio.
Then she got one of those big crossbodies off the top, which really was the turning point in the match. Like her first like streak of offense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when she actually got a few moves in. Riho she does everything right. She's just so small.
Now,
Small, SMOL.
I don't know necessarily what mine would have been, but now that we got to it, I'm throwing it out there for hardest hit of the night because Jamie did the superplex off the top rope, right?
Yeah.
But held on, rolled through, lifted her up for a brain buster. Then Riho countered with one hell of a DDT.
Yeah, that sequence right there was That was probably my favorite sequence of the night. Yeah.
No idea what I was going to choose. And I got to the notes. I was like, bingo.
So I was like, that thing, that 10 seconds right there was my favorite part of that match. Definitely. And it's the only thing that's in my notes from this match as well.
Well, there's a part of this match, because it wasn't so long after this that we got to the end of the match. I know you'll remember. Jamie hits one haterade. I mean, it was a little convoluted with counters and stuff, but Riho kicked out. So we had to see a second one. And you saw what I saw, and what was that?
So the lariat just looked bad. I don't know if Riho doesn't know how to take the lariat, or if it's just not as easy to do it on someone so much smaller. But yeah, because it looked like Riho just wasn't ready to fall, and she stood there, and Jamie actually had to knock her over.
Yeah. Which I feel like was the complete opposite of the first time I ever saw her take that move so long ago, because I believe it was her where she took one where it looked almost more like an STO trip and a slam to the back of the head the way that it went down. It was ugly. So I think the 3 different times that I can recall seeing her take one of those, it has not looked good.
It's just because Jamie's so damn strong and Riho's so little.
But what you saw for tonight's was exactly how I saw it. It felt like she was just way too late on the falling down part.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what didn't go right there, but yeah, that was finish didn't go so well, but it was a good match though.
It's a good match.
I mean, to be expected, it's Jamie Hayter and Riho.
Yeah, definitely one of the better ones. I don't even actually no, I wouldn't say that. It's just there wasn't a bad match on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Now there was a match that didn't happen on this show, but
yeah, that wasn't a match.
Speaking about not on the show, we did not see our TBS champion on TBS, did we?
No. No, we don't ever see our TBS champion on TBS. Our TBS champion is on TNT usually.
So much fun. Because one other segment that we saw for the women was Renee with the Outcast backstage right after the match, where they sarcastically applaud Jamie holding on to the championship. I will say they are so much better as heels. Still don't really care about Tony. She's easily the least interesting of the group to me, automatically.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm really liking the Outcasts. I just don't. I want the L to go away. Other than the L thing, I like this Outcast because they got this they got this Mean Girls, but kind of like the Greaser Street Gang kind of thing going. I don't know. The look is weird, but it works. But the L thing,
I'm hoping maybe now that they have more of a branding with the name and the shirts and the merch and everything else, that maybe they can drop that part of it.
Yeah. I dug that from Saraya here. And she's just the entire time, she's not really even saying anything. She's just like, I have one purpose here, and that is to let you know that we got shirts. Buy our shirts.
I'm still sticking with that she's going to be the women's champion soon, and the fact that they're doing a show in Wembley.
Ooh.
I don't know if they can hold off that long to make it happen, but maybe she walks in. Because yeah, that was essentially the point of the rest of this promo, was saying that they want control of the division and one of them's going to take the belt. Renee tries to ask who, and they were like, "We'll figure that out later."
Yeah, but Soraya's got the shirt. She's like, "We have shirts. Buy our shirts." And she walks up.
I saw a quick list compiled of all the people that would be like a homecoming for, and it just kind of reinforced that. I was like, I still think she's either going to walk in or become champion soon. So she might walk in or become it then, but that is still, what, 4.5 months away? I'm good with 4.5 more months of Jamie Hayter as champion.
Let's run it. Let Jamie Hayter just keep putting on banger matches for a while. And I'm with it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because all of a sudden, if they put that belt on somebody who doesn't wrestle really good matches on a regular basis, and we end up having Jade as one champion who doesn't wrestle enough or on TV enough, and then you end up putting the belt on somebody like Saraya who's not going to wrestle super frequently, that would not be good.
Yeah, cause, I like having Jamie as our champion right now, because since they don't give the women a lot of like talking segments or anything like that, someone like Jamie is the perfect champion for this, because she fits the I don't have to say much. I'm just gonna let my in-ring work show.
Right. So then when you have the people that can talk, they can have those segments, but if you take the belt off of her, where does she fit in terms of getting segments? Which is a whole bigger issue that you've seen us complain about for a while now.
Yeah.
More focus.
You want to know. Because it's like Jamie's been champion for how long now? It's been a while, and I still don't know whether or not I like her on the mic, because she doesn't get a chance.
I mean, and sadly, that's the case for 90% of their women's division.
Yeah. But she's the champ, and you still don't get too much of her.
He's just the best bout machine for the women.
Yeah. I want, like, I don't know. I want to be, like, her matches are incredible, so I want to know, I want to feel something about Jamie other than, hell yeah, it's going to be a dope match. It's Jamie Hayter.
The whole one match and one segment per show is not enough.
Yeah.
Another title match on tonight's card. House Black versus the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. In Range's introduction to Sue.
Hey, that was pretty cool. That was really cool. I like that. Getting to ride in the minivan from Trent's mom.
She was so over at some point during the pandemic.
As she should be. Dropping her son off to his wrestling match.
Alright, so to paint the picture, you have the House of Black. They do their whole long super entrance before they go to commercial break. Come back from commercial break, you kind of get that just a little bit of music fade out, and the video of that.
And the video pops up. Trent's mom pulling up in a minivan.
And Trent wasn't even in the one in the front seat.
Yeah. Yeah, Orange Cassidy's in the front seat. And then isn't Chuck hanging out the left window?
Can't remember hanging.
So you can't even see Trent?
Yeah, Chuck's in the left backseat, and he is just sitting there smiling the whole time.
Yeah, he's cheesing hard. He's having a good time.
The match itself, I was surprised by. We've seen House of Black be portrayed as such a dominant force.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they barely came away with the win here.
Like, there were times where all of House of Black was laid out and they're going for pins and they got, and best friends have time. I'm like, I'm not used to seeing this.
especially especially against a team that they haven't really built any kind of story against them. 'Cause it made sense for them to struggle against the elite. Um, it made sense for them to not just walk through the trios triple match. But here it was just like, there's not a story to this, and we had both talked about this for quite a while, that we definitely wanted to see Orange Cassidy and Best Friends against House of Black, because they've got that yin and yang thing going, where House of Black is we're super serious, except for our entrance. Our entrance is forever, but we're super serious. And then the Best Friends, like, they just walk down to the ring. There's not a whole lot of pageantry to their entrance. But then when they get in the ring, it's all goofy. Like yin and yangs. And I feel like there could be a good story there.
It's as you're sitting there saying that there's not a lot of pageantry in my head. I just see a white minivan going through my brain. But yeah, I was kind of surprised just how much that Best Friends got to be on the offensive during this match.
It looked great.
And probably more than anyone ever, I got a kick out of Orange Cassidy doing his kicks to Malachi.
I like that spot when they end up in the middle of the ring together. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Because
And they're like, he's like, I'm gonna kick. No, I'm gonna punch you. No, I'm gonna kick you. And then there's just stalemate. And Orange Cassidy's like, you know what? I know what move will work.
probably one of the most lethal kickers in wrestling as a striker. And then Orange Cassidy doing that to him.
I'm gonna say no. One of the most lethal strikers in AEW. And then Malachi Black was there too.
I mean, he's putting some work with that orange punch.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, and I don't know if you saw how vicious those shin kicks were.
You want to know what was in this match I saw that was vicious? Trent's 3 consecutive pile drivers.
Oh yeah, that was fuck it, man, hit me with it.
It's up.
Cause 3 pile drivers, my neck hurts still.
The first 2 did not look crazy well protected. Like, I could see their head like touching the mat, and it wasn't like the fallback or anything. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, my neck hurts just thinking about it. Like I said,
I would have been more concerned about the one that Buddy took if he didn't sell it so damn well, bouncing like 3 feet in the air like he's on a trampoline.
Goddamn Buddy, dog. I love Buddy and his no tattoos.
What if he turned around?
Best friends, but the best friends even have tattoos. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna swap out the member of the best friends with the most tattoos and replace them, and then we're gonna put Buddy in the best friends instead.
Hey.
And we're gonna put that one in the House of Black.
You know, after seeing him team up with Sting and Darby, Orange Cassidy is down for a little bit of face paint.
See, there we go.
I have no idea who's the most tatted, so if it was him,
I don't know. I have no clue either. Oh, another spot that I liked was Orange Cassidy doing his coffin drop with his hands in his pockets. I thought that was pretty cool.
I agree with you though.
Cassidy's like, I'm Darby, but I'm Orange Cassidy.
Even if he doesn't have tattoos, I need more Buddy. There's dream matches that I just need to see on AEW television.
Yeah, I just like Buddy.
You already know
Oh,
number one. I want him versus Pac.
yeah. Yeah, I'd be down to see him versus Pac again.
Need it.
Oh,
Go crazy.
oh yeah. Anna Jay was watching. So Anna Jay was watching Julia Hart watch the match.
Usually, like, you would think the whole point of
What?
watching in the match is like research, studying game tape kind of thing.
He-
Yes. Let me watch you standing at ringside doing nothing.
Yeah, that's my the fuck moment of the night. 'Cause what the fuck? Why? And why did like? Why did you make a point that she is watching Julia Hart watch a match? Are they going to have a staring contest on Rampage? Is that what's happening?
Please no. Rampage already is a struggle to watch.
Because they're supposed to have a match on Rampage, and Anna Jay learned that Julia Hart knows how to watch by watching her watch that match.
Those two having a match, I wonder how that will go. I say that only because Anna Jay's kind of hasn't done a whole lot, but or at least recently, but she's done more than Julia has.
Yeah. Julia, she just has quick squash matches on Dark.
I don't think,
So,
considering what her gimmick is with House of Black, I don't want to see her lose.
yeah. I still think that she needs to be like the witch doctor leader of the House of Black. I think that would be cool.
That's why I was so disappointed during their entrance when they focused on one solo person. It was not her. Even though there was that one big entrance that we saw where she stands in front of the banner with all three of them. It should be her.
First, yeah. Like I like that. I really, really like that. And it's not a great comparison because the Goonies is goofy, but I don't know. Like the mom lady is the one that you would be like, oh, I don't want to fuck with her. But she's kind of got that yeah, these are my boys.
And that's why that match with Anna Jay would be interesting to me, because from experience wise, you would think Anna Jay would have the advantage, but I'm like, it's gotta be Julia.
I would want to see Julia win that match, but what is Anna Jay doing? At least Julia looks cool hanging out with the House of Black, but Anna Jay isn't even hanging out with JAS anymore.
So it even makes more sense. You gotta keep up the strength, the mystique.
Okay. Yeah,
Just don't know why. I forget why Anna Jay's even picking this fight, to be honest.
It's Battle of the Young Blondes. Like, no, I'm the best young blonde. There we go. Yep, Battle of the Young Blondes.
Trying to take a look through. That leaves
about wrestling.
There's a couple of matches. I just don't really know where to go with it.
Talk about not wrestling.
Ooh. Because we were just talking about Anna Jay and not really being involved with the JAS anymore. Well, 2.0 continued their pursuits of gaining the acclaim to join the JAS.
Completely pointless segments.
I'm confused. I only say this because I have no idea what the hell is going on with that group. So they said no to them, but there's a match that was made for Friday where they team together.
Yeah. Basically, it's 2.0. They are not taking no for an answer. But because the Acclaimed make Daddy Mapple, Snapple, Clapple, Lapple, Apple, Flapple, Gapple.
Waffle?
The Acclaim makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard, and you just don't give up on someone when they make your nipples hard, Jeremy.
And so
Okay.
the whole point of this, you said pointless segment, and it really was in terms of television, because outside of that, the only reason this happened in the stage or took as much time of it was just to get to Max be able to rap in front of his hometown crowd.
Yeah.
Jericho.
But, everyone loves the Jericho Acclaimed Appreciation Society. Everyone.
I mean, maybe once the Acclaimed are in there, but also somebody that has, well, apparently now beef with Jericho and probably still has a little bit of beef with the Acclaimed. Jericho was explaining why he came down during Adam Cole's celebration. Puts over Adam Cole, talks about Garcia. You punked him out by having your whole celebration with Garcia laying there, right? Who do we know that has had problems with the Acclaimed, but also Jericho, apparently now, because he showed up?
Yep. Keith Lee said, "Hey, I don't like Adam Cole, but I respect him. I don't respect you." So basically, he's just like, "Let's do this then."
Yeah, next week. I mean, I don't know. Did anyone ever say it was happening, or was it more of a just like a challenge that wasn't even responded to?
It was, it was a challenge that we can assume that something is going to happen out of. I thought they said Rampage or next week or something along those lines. I can't remember.
Yeah, I heard next week because he was gonna teach him a lesson about respect.
Yeah, teaching Jericho some lessons. I appreciate that Keith Lee grew his beard back out.
He looks much better with it.
Yeah, thank you, man. I needed you to have facial hair because the no facial hair Keith Lee, still like him, but I don't love him.
Speaking of small segments and changes to appearance, Christian Cage apparently revealed to us that Super Shredder and Kane had a baby.
Yeah, the big red machine is back. I mean, Luchasaurus.
Because that mask looked, he was in that red light, but that mask was red too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit extra to it. Like,
yeah, I was thinking the Road Warriors were being revived.
Because he has one shoulder pad still.
Because, yeah, he had that spiky shoulder pad thing going on. Like, yep, Road Warrior.
I honestly can't even remember the last time we saw Luchasaurus, and there were so many twists and turns in his story from face, heel, face, all that stuff. I forgot how it freaking ended with him.
Was his last thing the cage match with Jungle Boy?
That sounds right. Okay.
I think it was the cage match with Jungle Boy. Yeah.
Now that you said that, I can kind of remember better.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just remember he went heel, then he went face, and then he went heel again.
And apparently he's staying heel.
That story that took forever to tell because of injuries.
Hey, well, now you get to see Luchasaurus headbutt people.
Please tell me that doesn't mean that they're coming back for Jungle Boy again.
No. Oh, no. I feel like commentary was trying to make it clear that they're not going for Jungle Boy this time.
Oh, I don't even remember commentary about it.
What they were, or it was Shivani, I think. He was, or no, Excalibur was. I wonder who they're going for next, what they're going after next. they made sure they didn't mention Jungle Boy, because if they had if they had even thought about Jungle Boy during that, I would have smacked them, all of them. No.
Figure next we can talk about this match because it was a fun match. It tells a story, but it's not as big of a segment slash match as the one that would be left after it. And that would be Ethan Page versus Hook.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some story to that. Rip. Poor Ethan Page got that jobber entrance.
Man, that sucks.
Pretty much, and then pretty much lost as quick as it started.
Because not that long ago, we were meeting him, watching him on an indie show say that it's probably going to be one of his last indie shows. So excited to see him, and then next thing I do is, I mean, at least he's involved in story. So it sucks to see him lose, especially in a joking kind of manner. I want to say it was comedy wrestling, but it was fun.
You want to know what we got out of this, though? Hook can't beat Ethan Page clean. Okay, so let's take that out of this. Hook can't beat Ethan Page clean.
It's fun though. He points at Matt Hardy, says he's going to do a twist of fate. Hook counters and hits his own twist of fate. So 2 attempts at a twist of fate, and neither one were from Matt Hardy.
I mean, Ethan Page has been doing a whole lot of twist of fates. But,
So
it was my first time seeing Hook do one.
that being so, Isaiah's out there too, and at this point, Isaiah starts to distract the ref. Ethan Page tries to get the title, tries to use that on Hook. Matt Hardy's like, nuh-uh.
He's like, no, you don't. I'm gonna bust you over the head. Matt Hardy finally turns. He finally turns on Ethan Page. Hell yeah.
I just realized something. This makes sense to happen now because you have a reason for Stokely not to be on TV.
Because you know that shit ain't going down with Stokely around.
I miss Stokely.
Stokely is the funniest person in wrestling. Like, I love Danhausen, but Stokely is the funniest person in wrestling.
It's a very different style of funny too. Danhausen's that like general comedy where maybe like a kid might be able to get laughs out of it. Everybody like Stokely is more of a adult, more like a conversational type of humor.
Yeah. I'm never gonna forget that match with Hook. And he's got Hook down and he goes to grab the chair and he's getting real cocky. I ain't a killer, but don't push me. That's Tupac.
I thought you were going to say the part where once he realized he was going to have the match when he was cradled up in that corner.
Dude, yeah, I mean, there's so many things that Stokely did during this whole Hook thing. Like, I want Stokely to have a match on a pay-per-view with a good build-up, because the build-up to him versus Hook was so good.
So after the title shot, Hook ends up getting the red rub on Page, who, immediately they do the 3-arm drop. He's out cold. Hardy and Cassidy are like celebrating and go up the ramp. And Hook is just all friendly with them, and they all leave together.
Yeah, Hook even gives them fist bumps.
These commentary said they dapped him up. I was like, no, he did not.
That's not dap. That's a fist bump. A dap and a fist bump are different things.
I just shook my head when it happened.
I'm going to say people don't dap anymore.
All right, so quick, because we were talking about things that were funny and enjoying and entertainment, I want to say There is a sign that was featured tonight. It was shown over and over and over again. I saw it at least 3 times during the show that I was paying attention. You know what sign I'm talking about. What was it? As he dies. The sign just simply on top, 4 letters. LMAO. On the bottom to match it, another 4 letters. CODY.
Oh man. It's all right. Yeah, I died, but I also died when I saw that sign because LMAO Cody.
You want to know what's the only thing missing from that sign? A rubber chicken.
Yeah, they just needed. Yeah, they just needed a roll. something rubber chicken. Cody Rhodes. Oh man. Yeah, Cody did not have his weekend, but that sign was killing me the whole time.
If somehow we can sit relatively close enough at SummerSlam where we could fling a chicken into the ring, we gotta find ourselves a rubber chicken. We're doing better. Man. What if we both went in? You know those like rubber chicken like hats, like costume type hats?
Oh.
Like go to the show dressed as giant rubber chickens.
I would be a rubber chicken. Something. Whoa.
Imagine I would never recommend this. You always see what happens when fans jump barricades. But what if you're ringside wearing a rubber chicken outfit? Cody loses. You hop the barricade and just roll into the ring and lay there on the mat.
That would be the best thing ever. And I'd be like banned from WWE events forever.
Right now, I might risk that.
But it would. Oh, I wouldn't say that. I think it would be worth it, though.
Now, this show took place in Long Island, New York. You know what happens whenever they go to Long Island, New York, don't you?
People wrestle.
I mean, not this guy, because MJF barely ever wrestles.
And so, yeah, he doesn't wrestle.
But when they go to Long Island, that man is a focus on the show.
Oh, yeah.
How did you feel about MJF Day Range? Including the musical number.
Oh, man. I both loved and hated this whole segment. Like, I loved it, and I was annoyed by it. And I would never, like, I didn't, all right, it's how I feel about most superhero movies, where I would never watch them again because there's just not enough substance to it. But I enjoyed it the first time around because seeing him get played out with the whole jazz band, and he even sings Pennies from Heaven.
I mean, you nailed it. It's pomp and circumstance, but there is a lack of actual substance.
Yeah, that's why I said I wouldn't ever want to see this again because there was no substance to it. Like this guy, they kept calling him a town supervisor.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a town supervisor? Who is that?
I don't know. I wonder if like in that town maybe it's like the equivalent of like a deputy mayor or something.
Maybe so, but yeah, the people seemed to know who he was.
And not like him.
Anything about. Yeah, they definitely don't like him. I don't know stuff about Long Island, and I don't plan on knowing stuff about Long Island. So
they start off with a video about him, and officially being named MJF Day there. He has this whole song and dance. He eventually goes to the ring, brings out that supervisor who gives him a key, which I kept looking at it because I think the metallic and everything, and people staying away from it. I was like, what is that? I couldn't tell at first until they actually focused in. Had like a, it just kind of looked like an X shape on the side, and then had something at the end. And I was like, oh, it says NY. Took me way too long to figure out what that was.
Yeah, yeah. The key wasn't big enough. It's fucking ridiculous.
Being in Long
That
Island,
whole thing, terrible and hilarious.
being in Long Island, he was able to get himself a "You Deserve It" chat started. Then he starts to tell a story about growing up there in Long Island, New York, and mentions having ADD, and the crowd starts chanting ADD, and even he seemed surprised by that one. Like, wow.
Yeah, yeah. We got the ADD chants. Shout out to ADD.
I mean, there was a point to him bringing up ADD because of the story. Considering the way that people call the cops on one of his previous stories, I never know what to trust as true or fake.
I mean, I don't know.
This one,
I don't believe a word he says, ever. But I love that. But I enjoy that he makes people believe some of the things that he says.
And if there's actually a teacher named Miss Benedict and she's still teaching, tomorrow at work may not be a good day for her.
Mrs. Ben, yeah, you know how many people, people are looking her up. I really, yeah. If that's a true story, he better not have used her real name, because people are looking up Mrs. Benedict for sure.
Because he talks about being in 8th grade and he kept daydreaming during class and she'd pick on him like and always catch him like slipping up.
Mm-hmm.
Says he always wants, he was daydreaming about wrestling. She told him it's never gonna happen. The mathematical odds. Yeah, it's whatever. He's champion. He made it.
He's champ. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't take a ton of notes on what he talked about because it was very just him celebrating being home and nothing to write home about for me.
Now, I will say, going through this segment does remind me of something, and we talked about her a little bit earlier. I do know what Anna Jay has going on. MJF keeps talking about her and his feud with Jungle Boy. So he made another comment tonight. But he wanted to give us an encore. Were you excited for an encore?
No, I was not. And I knew that there wasn't going to be an encore. Just because first off, he kept the microphone when he left the ring. That's a telltale sign that he's about to say something stupid and somebody's going to hit him.
Goes up, he's getting ready for that encore performance, and somebody just out of the blue claps some cymbals right behind his head. And MJF, like he always does, freaks out, like starts insulting him like an idiot and stuff like that.
Yeah, this guy's an idiot. He should be fired.
Ends up being Jungle Boy. They start to brawl. Eventually, they get pulled apart, and Sammy Guevara's music hits.
Sammy Guevara. This was one hell of a transition, as we knew Sammy had a match coming up with Commander. This was one hell of a transition here. Like,
it was good.
You got Jungle Boy and MJF getting pulled apart. The belt sitting right at the top of the ramp in the middle of the two of them. Sammy Guevara's music hits. He comes down and he's like, "Oh, you two are scrapping. The belt's right here." And then he goes over and holds it in front of both of their faces. Just taunting the two of them with the belt.
I
while
can't,
he's on his way down for his match.
I can't remember which commentator one it was that said it, but one of them was going to, or he alluded to, he said like, "Don't touch it, Sammy," almost like it's a curse, like to touch it before you win it. But then he touched it and picked it up and did all that stuff and was on his way down to the ring for the match. So mind you, we just had a whole long MJF segment, which all of these other pillars I told you go on way too long. Sammy coming down to the ring for a match. So you knew this match was going to have a commercial very, very quickly into it.
Oh yeah. Sammy versus Commander was cool. So I feel like I'm spoiled from seeing Vikingo versus Commander on Friday because everything that I see any high flyer do, I'm like, Vikingo could do it better. Vikingo could do it better. I'm like, I bet you Vikingo could do that better.
So one of the things I looked at with this going in was you we know what Commander is, and you know you could have fun with that match, period. And you know Sammy is athletic to be able to do a lot of that stuff with it. So like I was excited to at least enjoy this match. I will say I could not believe it tonight, but at one point I realized my hatred for Sammy is gone. Not saying I like him now,
Yeah.
but it wasn't what it was when I would throw like the puke emoji up on the stream and stuff because we could not stand him.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely grown a lot less sour on Sammy Guevara as of late.
Honestly, it
He
feels
just
like,
puts on good matches.
and it feels like they're preparing him for a switch here soon. Because some of the stuff that we've seen lately makes me wonder. It's worth mentioning. Darby was pulling a Sting and watching from the rafters.
Yeah.
But man, the way this match ended, I don't know if there's anything that you loved before the end.
Not particularly. I was going to point out that Commander's signature tightrope walk. Sammy was ready for that shit the whole time. They definitely had Sammy ready for it.
Mhm.
2 out of the 3 times at least.
Right, because he did that one to the outside.
Yeah, and so yeah, he got that one because you got to get that spot in because it just looks dope.
Well, isn't that the one at the same time where Sammy got the knee on him?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah, he got that. He countered it the first time, and then he got it the second time, and then the third time there was a counter.
Yeah. Because and I'm there with you because we've been spoiled and we've seen some of these guys, even outside of AEW, where now when we see some of these crazy things, like it's not new to us anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But like you know they can still go. But to your point, man, when he went for that tightrope walk that last time and Sammy jumped up and got him with that cutter, it wasn't the smoothest thing, but it was also not smooth in a way that actually made it look more devastating. Like it was almost like a stunner.
Yeah, yeah, like yeah, it was one of those kind of spots where he had to wait a little bit too long, but I don't mind those spots as long as the payoff is good.
And then of course, Sammy hits the GTH for the win, and Tony talks to him after. And this is where I was kind of pointing out to the change because even during that Four Pillars promo, I remember Sammy having one of the better ones. And it was more of a babyface style, and we talked about how he kind of switched it right at the end. And then tonight, same thing. Very, very babyface like, but knew he was getting booed because he talked about MJF, and then he leaned into the heel shit.
Yeah, yeah, he did a really good job here, especially for what he had, trying to go babyface of oh I put in work and MJF doesn't put in his work, and you're in Long Island, buddy. Even if what you're saying is true, because what you're saying is true, even if what you're saying is true, crowd's still not gonna like it because you're in MJF country.
Right. And the premise and the crutch of the whole start of it for him was pointing out that MJF, he made friends, used people, manipulated people, do all that to get to where he wanted it. Because when they faced before, it was Sean Spears and a steel chair being the reason that MJF was able to beat Sammy.
Mhm.
He talks about him, doing it all himself, building up his pillar brick by brick, and lists off all the groups that MJF used. But I don't know,
Yeah,
he made that that big line about saying he's gonna do what the champ doesn't, which is wrestle.
yeah. Sammy was going hard. He's like, yeah, and he gave his heart and soul. MJF sold his soul.
If this promo happened elsewhere, there's a chance Sammy might have had one of the better babyface reactions of the night.
He's still Sammy, so people are gonna try and hate him.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, he definitely wouldn't have got all booze. Because in Long Island, he was gonna get all booze. It just is what it is.
basically, if you were MJF's problem, you were going to be the number one enemy there. And I love it. I love that they lean into it so hard because we got used to a certain other company not really leaning into that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I love when they make people the baby face in their hometown.
It
'Cause you know, 'cause wrestling feeds off of the crowd.
it's the epitome of when you would always see those signs that would say like Flair Country or MJF Country. It's like when you are there, it is enemy territory.
Hmm. Hmm. So it's good.
Are we missing anything at this point?
Nope. That was the show. Ba-la-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Rock hard Juice Robinson. It's gonna be on my TV more.
Yeah.
Jay White. Ooh. You know what? With all this additional talent coming in and FTR not leaving and all that other good stuff, can we start to make Rampage matter? Or you know what? Yeah, Battle of the Belts on Friday night. How about you make that show matter?
Ugh. I forgot we gotta watch Battle of the Belts on Friday.
Just be happy it's one of the ones that's just a reaction
Yeah,
show
All
for
Elite
us
Wrestling,
now.
if you're still there, can we please have a title change on Battle of the Belts so that I feel like I should watch it? Because at this point, it just feels like dark matches.
Do we even know the card yet?
Nope. No clue. There's not one single match that they've told you about for it.
I'm trying to look just to see if
I'm
anything.
pretty sure, at least.
It says 3 title matches are set for the show: AEW International, the TBS, and the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship. Doesn't tell us. Oh, I guess it's expected for. I don't know if this is official or just speculation. There's no way. This can't be true. If this is the card, I will.
What?
This has to be bullshit, dude.
What?
Orange Cassidy versus Dralistico.
Okay.
Jade Cargill versus Billy Stark. I would love to see her on the show. But okay.
Mm-hmm.
Lucha Bros, our Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship champions. It says Powerhouse Hobbs and QT Marshall.
Oh boy.
Here's another site that says no. I'm looking, dude. I'm looking at that's the card. There's pictures.
Uh,
That is the card.
mm,
Wow.
I'm very excited.
Like, I'll be excited to see Billy. That's cool. But am I supposed to believe that she could be Jade?
Mm.
Do we expect Trillis? And the other ones, do we expect a change of title when there's no build?
No. When you just put those belts on the Lucha Bros. And Hobbs has another belt already. And you kind of don't want to split him while he has another belt. So obviously, that's going that way. They're like, hey guys, here's another battle of the belts, and here's another show that you already know the outcome of every match.
I mean, I would say I hope that they surprise me, but I don't know if any of those would be a good surprise.
Yeah.
We love Hobbs. It makes sense for him to win those titles.
Nope.
Like I said, excited to see Billy. It makes zero sense to have her beat Jade.
Yeah.
Dralistico's cool as a luchador. I don't really know much about him because they don't talk or anything.
See much of them either. So, but yeah, we don't have enough to go on. And
Plus, we saw them, Lopexia and Ingobernables tonight checking out the trios match.
I still think that they should call Battle of the Belts Showcase of the Belts. So that way you don't think that there's actually going to be people that have a chance for the belt competing. It's just going to be like, hey, these people that are champions are going to wrestle. Because this Battle of the Belts is just calling it Battle of the Belts makes me feel like it should mean something, and it absolutely means nothing.
Tape it, throw it on a Saturday night, call it Showcase Saturday Night.
Yeah, this Battle of the Belts is like that filler episode from your favorite show where nothing matters and it's just something, a side plot. Like, yeah, we didn't have anything to do.
Let's put it this way. Since Battle of the Belts has started, you want to know what's been more influential on AEW TV than Battle of the Belts? Being the Elite.
Yeah. They did drop the news that Kenny was coming back.
They're doing
It was hot.
most of the whole story with like Adam Page and like reuniting with the Elite. A lot of that's taking place on there.
Yeah, I did see a lot. I've been watching them be Elite every week since the whole Hangman story started here. Or, well, since the story started picking up again, I should say. The story didn't start.
Because we did have a little bit way back when they first started to mend fences, but then a lot of drama happened and people disappeared for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were even still starting to tell the story on them reuniting back then.
Yeah, but everything probably got put on hold because, stuff.
I'm not saying that the World Championship has to take place on Battle of the Belts. I feel like it Battle of the Belt or World Championship is too big.
Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, I don't necessarily think. I just think that at the very least, one of these shows, a title should change hands. This is going to be the sixth one,
And build to it.
and there's 3 matches per show. So there's been at least 8. So by the end of this, there will have been at least 18 Battle of the Belts matches with no title change, and most of them with you thinking, well, I definitely know that the champion's going to retain.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's
But
got to change.
I mean, it should really honestly be treated like a mini pay-per-view where 2 to 3 weeks out, we know what the card is and you're building towards it.
Yeah, yeah, but it's like I almost want to turn it off after Rampage. Like, yeah, I don't need to see the rest.
At least when people ask any questions down the line, we may be AEW fans and that's what we mostly talk about, but man, there is no denying that we give this company so much criticism.
Yep, yep. I mean, I feel like that's why we're allowed to give it so much criticism, because we support the shit out of it. Like, we go to as many shows as we can. We watch every goddamn week.
It's
Talk
not
about the podcast. We tell everyone that they should watch it so that we can talk to them about it.
yeah, it's no
And then we
tribalism, it's
complain.
no hatred.
Mhm.
It's just like, hey, you are missing the mark on Battle of the Belts and your women's division hard.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not like we're saying we're not going to watch it, because we're still watching.
I mean, you do thread and watch Monday Night Raw every now and then instead.
But I still don't say that I'm not going to watch AEW. I just say that I might watch Raw. Like, keep fucking up and I'll watch Raw. That's all I'm saying.
You make me hate this wrestling show so much, I'm going to go torture myself for 3 hours. Put myself in
Yeah.
timeout.
Yeah, see, that's all I'm saying. They're going to make me do it. Don't make me do it. I don't want to. I really, really don't want to. Like, seriously. I tried watching Raw, and I don't want to watch it. So don't make me do it.
Give us more focus and story for the women. Make Battle of the Belts matter. What would you say a third big one that we might have as a gripe would be? No, those ones are ones that we harp on.
Yeah. I don't know. My other biggest gripe is the lack of consistency with the referees.
Because there was a number of things I could think of that were like smaller that we don't like the technical, like the audio and the production issues that they have on a regular basis, or the rough stuff, or I don't know, like there's a number of them that can fill like number three. But, like those first two are ones that we harp on so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Because,
Oh, time slot for Rampage in general.
yeah. And I mean, a part of that is just us being old. This,
And the
this is
fact that
like, yo,
Rampage
at
is
the end
never
of my
great.
week, I don't want to commit to watching anything.
If Rampage was a really good 1 hour every Friday night, do you think we'd have half of the complaint?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I still would be like, it's Friday night when, especially like, like the wintertime, I'm hibernating pretty much. But in the summertime, I'm trying to get out and do some stuff.
I know.
And having shows Friday nights
I know.
makes it pretty much impossible to do things on Friday nights.
You know what we'll have to do is over the next month or so, see if we can come up with a decent idea for Rampage where maybe we can enjoy a Friday night.
Yeah. That's what I've been thinking is we'll have to come up with something, whether it be like a way for us to like every once in a while, both like either one of us have a week off and one just do a quick show or something along those lines. I don't know.
Another reason I yell at a certain friend of ours, which I haven't talked to in like a week. Like, man, you don't understand just how much having 1, 2, 3 other people in this with us. Like, you have no idea how much I would do just in terms of like social media tasks and stuff like that, when you can split stuff up and share responsibilities and step in for each other. And maybe one day somebody will love us.
Somebody's gonna be seeing how much fun we have.
And trust me, we have. You know what? I'm gonna mess up part of the stream right now just because I can, because I haven't formatted these because we haven't had to use them. And it's not like I'm gonna save any of this to a video clip. We have overlays made for when, if we can ever have 3 or 4 people. It's not even just a replacement thing. Like, you can be here on a weekly basis with us. And it's just, sometimes somebody might take a night off and there'll only be 2 again.
We got a lot of people.
That being said,
we got space for people. But yeah, it's time.
It's after midnight. As we just talked about being older and not wanting to spend time with wrestling late at night. It's time to end the stream, and we will see you Friday for a watch along with Battle of the Belts.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long watch along. See ya.
Night.